This is a Runic video for Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, OVA episode 1, 2, and 3. 3 episodes for the OVA this week, and there is a big warning because there is not safe for work images in these OVAs. Seeing how they are OVAs and they weren't on TV, they can be a little loose with a lot of things. So, the first episode has big, it's very brief, but again, I just, for fair warning, there is, not safe for work kind of fan servicey bits. So just be careful if you're watching a public place or at home or whatever like that. Just make sure that is a thing. So I just want to point that out for anybody who's not aware what the OVAs contain. Just bits here and there of pretty not safe for work. Clearly not safe for work. OVA sequences, that kind of thing. So just be aware for that. Anyways, go check out go to the description to watch my reaction to the OVAs, and then come back here to see my full thoughts, ideas, and theories about these OVAs and what I might, theories about what's to come, that sort of thing. So yeah, click away now. Okay, so joining me as always, I will go ahead and hide this thing so we can bring up the Discord. Try. So I enjoyed them, plot-wise. It was pretty plot-heavy. There's this new group of, in a way, villains. They're not really villains, but another dojo, basically, to go up against, who apparently have gone to war with our dojo. So that is pretty interesting. We never learned about them in the actual show. So it's OVA stuff, right? We learned about them in the OVAs. Were they ever mentioned actually in the show? I don't remember. I don't remember in my mind if they ever were mentioned in the actual show. Okay, it is kind of hinted at the fact. All right. But yeah, they seem pretty bad. So far, Kenichi has only beaten one guy. Kenichi defeated himself, one of the duo kind of members, and then Miyu defeated the other one. And then in episode 2, they fought the pink-haired girl, but they didn't really defeat her. It was more so that she kind of just gave up, because Kenichi could never fight a girl. God, he just kept going up against girls this entire all the episodes. when we met the duo on the train tracks, he went up against the girl of the duo, and he did not fight her. And then Miyu and him switched, so they actually fight. And then in episode 2, he's going up against the drunken master state, style, whatever, drunken style girl, and could not fight her, so he kept parrying all of her attacks and everything. And then in episode 3, it was up against the minions or the guards or whatever for the one assassin guy, the people with the boot knives or whatever. So Kenichi just had bad luck all around fighting girls constantly, which is pretty funny. So I'm hoping at some point he's actually going to show his skill, more so than just the one guy, right? Because we've seen him fight one of the assassins, which were also a disciple. And we saw him fight briefly the true assassin, Christopher, I think his name was. But he didn't win that fight. Kenichi never won that fight. That was just more so a distraction, if anything. Just throw a few punches. He did get a solid hit on him just to kind of throw him off guard, which is awesome. But a flurry of punches towards Christopher, and he's dodging everything. And he even closed his eyes because he said it's he can kind of being all cocky, I can block all this stuff. And then freaking in comes Shio's attack, just right up the middle, and just smacks him right in the face. That was freaking great. I loved the master fights. That was one thing I really wanted to see, and we got to see multiple fights from the masters. Yeah, finally got to see master fight. All of them in episode 1. Every single master we saw a little bit of. Well, I mean, we got to see them fight. We saw kind of more so. Well, with a couple of them, we actually saw a bit of them, of the aftermath of their fight kind of thing. But we got to see the Grandmaster, Hayato. Got to see him do like some kind of breath attack kind of deal. That was awesome. Um, yeah, the Elder did a roar. Yep, yep, yep. And then Shio, I think all he did was like he grabbed somebody from behind and smacked him forward, kind of thing. That's all we saw from her or him. Shigure, we saw her fight two other girls in the bath or in the water or whatever. That was the big not safe for work like bit that I mentioned. Um, and then Kensei was watching TV, and then we saw the aftermath of all the people just out and around, just all like dead or not dead, but passed out like all around him, kind of thing. Um, did the mouse fight? I didn't even see the mouse fight. Interesting. TV's a light way of saying, yeah. Lewd images. Yeah, and then Apachai was like juggling, and then we saw the aftermath when he was juggling the enemies, which is hilarious. And then Akasame, he was reading the book, and the big guy came up behind him, and then we saw the aftermath of the big guy underneath Akasame. He's like trying to get the big guy's input on the book that he's reading. Like, what do you think about this? Like, that's so funny. But all in all, yeah, we got to see Kensei go up against the guy in episode 2. That was awesome to see Kensei. It looked like he was getting hit, like full on, like he was getting punch, 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 punch. But it turns out he's blocking everything. Um, it turns out Kensei and the guy himself was actually holding back the entire fight, which I think is a little bit of like I don't know how to feel about that because like Kensei was saying that the other guy was like holding back because um, Kensei's daughter was one of them, and he Kensei said the reason why he held back was because Kensei's daughter looks much like his daughter, which was the pink-haired girl. Nijima left. He did. So freaking Nijima just like a hardcore left everyone to die. Like once he did like the whole crap, can't you do it now? Like the eye thing or whatever. Like the eyes, the finger eye thing or whatever. Once he did that and realized that guy was it blew up his hands, like his power level. Um, once he did that, he literally left everyone to die. He was just like retreat, retreat, and just like booked it out of there. That was freaking funny. Um, but yeah, so I think it's a little bit of a cop out for the one guy saying what Kensei was saying, how like he held back because the girl reminded him of his girl, kind of thing, and he's very soft with like his daughter, kind of thing. So I don't know. I think that is a bit of a cop out, but at the same time, I don't know. Also, the fight with Kenichi and the pink haired girl at the very end when they're in the flower pot or whatever, like the flower place, whatever. Um, it ended very abruptly, like in my eyes. Like that fight like lasted for was like a long time. It was awesome to see him dodge and all kind of stuff. But then all of a sudden, it was like a switch, it just like flipped a switch in her mind, and she's like, I don't want to fight anymore, and she just got down on her knees, and then she just like gave up. Like it happened so quick. There was no like kind of overarching kind of moment of it, and like we saw her like bloodthirsty, like she was gonna kill Kenichi, and then all of a sudden like her eyes just went like normal again, and then she fell down and she gave up, kind of thing. Like for some reason that just to me like kind of like is uneasy, like it's like just too quick, kind of thing. But again, they're shoving so much info into like one OVA. I can see that being like one of the issues. Like they had to do that to save time, basically. Um, so I can definitely see why they did that and kind of thing. But it does seem very odd that she gave up so quickly. But I don't know. That could be me. I could be overthinking it or underthinking it or whatever about the whole situation. But she was a cool fighter. I liked her style, like the drunken style kind of thing. I've seen the style in other TV shows. In Fairy Tale, we've seen in Fairy Tale that kind of drunken style. Video games have also done it as well, that I've seen multiple times. So it's actually cool to see it in Kenichi because it's one of those kind of like bottom of the list, like pretty rare techniques that you never see in kind of fighting styles. So it's actually pretty cool that Kenichi um, put it in as a fighting style, which is really cool. Um, yeah, it was really cool. It was I think it was just well, so it could be two things. The suit could have been made from metal, and the metal hitting the pavement or whatever, sparks start shooting out, or it could be something like graphite or like something. There's a material that is used to create sparks. I think no, it's not graphite, is it? Shoot, um, or like I want to say like flint, but I don't think it's flint either. Shoot. It might be flint. Uh, anyways, one of those materials. I feel like her suit was kind of made out of that. So like whenever it just touched anything, it just like sparks just shot out. Um, yeah, it's probably flint if anything. But they did look metal, so it could I don't know. It could be metal laced with flint at the very ends or whatever. But it was a cool yeah. Just Minecraft telling me that. Um, it looked metal. So that's in my eyes. It looked metal, like the pads, knee pads, arm, elbow pads, all that stuff. They all had. It looked like bolts, like basically of metal coming out. So I mean, who knows at this point? Like I don't know if it's actually clearly out there what her suit was, but it's got to be at least flint or metal, like one of those. But yeah, it was a cool technique. Like her drunken style technique, um, matched with the whole point of creating sparks in the ground to, in a way, blind your enemy, so that way your attacks do, just that much more damage, kind of thing. That's a really good technique and everything. Um, it's interesting that she never used it very much against Kenichi. She used it kind of briefly here and there, and whenever she like fell down, or whatever, that's when the sparks came out, kind of thing. But she never really used it like to its full advantage against Kenichi, which is interesting. I'm wondering if like subconsciously she was like slowly kind of not wanting to go overboard with Kenichi for some reason or another. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, episode 3 was pretty awesome to see the inner workings of what uh what Sakaki. It's why is this name so hard for me to say? Sakaki. Shio. Shikake. Yeah. Shikake. Whatever. Uh, yeah, just says okay. Yeah, Shio. We got to see his like side job. We never saw any job with him. Like he's just been at the dojo, like forever. Like we've ever seen him do anything besides go get groceries and teach his style of combat to Kenichi. So it's really cool to see that. Like I'm wondering if all the other teachers, masters, if they have day jobs. Like I know Kensei does with acupuncture, and Akasame has the whole massage kind of like pressure points, kind of thing. Bone setting clinic. There you go. So I'm wondering if Apachai and Shigure and Hayato have like a day job, like the pay to bills kind of thing. Um, it would be interesting to see if they did. I know like we've seen Apachai uh, go to the parks and like play with the kids and everything. So I'm wondering if like that has something to do with it, like a babysitter kind of thing. That would be interesting for him, because to play with kids and everything while he's doing it. Shiguri, I have no idea. Like a blacksmith, or I don't think a blacksmith, but um, like, I don't know. It would be interesting to see what Shigure does in the day job, and then also Hayato, um, what he does and everything. I'm sure he's like a um, businessman sort of style. Like he can make deals and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think all of them do need a job. It's interesting to see what they do besides fighting, kind of thing. That's like one thing that I enjoy watching. So it would be interesting to see if they did have any other jobs besides the ones we know about already with Shio and Kensei and Akasame. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. With all of them and everything, because we do have 8 episodes left of the OVAs. So I'm wondering if we're going to see more master fights, which I definitely wish. I definitely wish there's going to be more master fights, because that would be super freaking awesome. Um, and then I hope we get to see more about the bad guys, of course, and we're probably going to see them. Definitely going to see the bad guys more. And then uh, we're probably going to see some more Kenichi do some more techniques and everything to push through to win against whoever he's fighting up against, basically. It's actually interesting that multiple times, twice in fact, uh, Kenichi has gone into like rage mode, right? Like the first time it happened was episode 1 or OVA 1 when his sister was attacked by the assassin guy, the kid, or whatever, the assassin disciple. When he knocked Kenichi's sister, into the bushes, basically, he got pissed. Like his eyes went red. Like he was like in it all the way, kind of thing. And then in episode 3, um, what's 3? Yes, he was up against Christopher, and Christopher was coming in to attack Kenichi once he was in kind of like the rage mode, kind of, or was he? I can't remember if he was in rage mode or not quite yet, but he was standing there, and Christopher was coming into him, and Miyu came in from the side, whatever, and took a hit. Basically, I think it was in the stomach, probably, um, and then went down, and then like that was when Kenichi, like, the switch like flipped, and then he was in it, like he was like, rage mode activated, kind of thing. I loved how, I can't remember which part or which OVA it was. But okay, yeah, yeah. And OVA 2 was when he was fighting against the girl. He used Kensei's style of fighting, um, which was hilarious. Like the whole perverted, like, like trying to excuse me, trying to throw her off, kind of thing. That was pretty hilarious to see, like him, like, imitating him, kind of thing, once again, because we saw that in the finale, or like, the last episodes of Kenichi, him imitating the other masters, to throw off his enemy, kind of thing, Odin. So it was really funny to see that coming about again, um, as he's fighting in normal fight to fight, kind of thing, to throw off his enemy, kind of thing. I loved how when Christopher was about to kill a client, um, he all of a sudden turned around. He's like, "Oh crap!" kind of thing. Like he felt like the presence of Shio, and like freaking. And there's Kenichi just standing there, like with his like aura, kind of thing. Like he was like, "Oh, just you." And then like that was so badass. Like he's like imitating Shio so much that his presence is like there, to the fact that Christopher was scared for a second. Like like, oh crap! Like he turned around so quickly. Like once that happened, that was really badass. So I'm hoping for more parts like that, where he's imitating like Apachai and Akasame and Shigure and Hayato, kind of thing. I want him to imitate them more, because for one, it's great in combat because the enemy doesn't expect it, but also it's great because we actually see him in a way like imitating the masters, like in his way, his own way, kind of thing, in combat. So I hope it does more of that. That's gonna be awesome. More master fights, more info on the bad people, basically, the alternate dojo or whatever. I liked how they explained the dojos, um, with our dojo and the enemy dojo, whatever, being like a yin yang kind of thing. Like that was really good. Like the symbol popped up, and I'm like, oh damn! Like this is like, like unbeknownst to everybody, that's basically what like Kenichi's all about, is a yin yang symbol. So it coming back in a way to explain the two dojos was really clever. So like, our dojo is all about, like the goodness, the white, whatever, and then their dojo is like the black, like a complete opposite of our dojo. So it's gonna be cool to see what they have. Well, not in common. It wouldn't be in common because they are the exact opposite of us, and they're assassins. So it'll be interesting to see the members for sure, like the people who are running the show over there, who's the master, all that kind of stuff. I full on thought the master of that dojo went to go attack them in episode 1 when like all those assassins came in to attack all the masters. I full on thought that was their master, but he's like at this point I think he's just like a minion, or just like just a disciple, one disciple of many kind of thing that were just like thrown out kind of thing to go in a way be like meat shields, like just throw them out the gates and see what happens kind of thing. So I am expecting some big fights. I am expecting some badass fights with some masters probably. Um, More Kenichi badness or badassery, that kind of thing. Miyu fighting, that kind of thing. So yeah, next week's gonna be 4 episodes plus an opening. And the week after that is the final 4 OVAs. We get to also watch the ending as well. So yeah, exciting stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for some more Kenichi, the finest disciple. Take care, everybody.